Hey guys, Nate Blanton, Aimpoint Professional Training, doing some shooting up here at the Peacemaker Range with our friends from See the Night. One of the things that we wanted to talk to you about today was choosing the right mount height and style for your particular needs. Out there in the industry, we've got a few different options as far as how we're attaching it to the rifle, from our quick detach, everything to our bolt-on. Some of the advantages and disadvantages of each: quick detach allows me toolless removal of the sight from the weapon, but it is adding a little bit of bulk to the mount. To our bolt-on options, which allows you to bolt it on and have a much slimmer profile. A couple of things to keep in mind, guys. As the manufacturers put out their height for the optics, they're actually doing a measurement from the rail to the center of the optics. That's not our true bore height, so if you're using any kind of ballistic computer, what we're really looking for, guys, is the center line of the bolt to the center line of the optic. All right, that's our true bore height. However, industry, you know, in their wisdom, it allows us measuring from the rail, gives us a more consistent measurement because different rifles have a different thickness on the upper receiver. So that manufacturer's recommendation, so for example, this scalar works is a 193, so that's 1.93 inches from the top of the rail to the center of the optic. But that gives me my true bore height of about 3 inches. And that's really what our ballistic computers are looking for. All right, guys, so the next thing we're going to talk about once you've made your selection for your mounting style and your mounting height is how that affects our external ballistics. So really, I break these down into 3 different categories, guys. So we've got our low, which is anywhere from about 1 to 1.3, our normal, which is about 1.5 to 1.7, give or take, and anything above the 1.9 is what I consider a high mount. Again, that's measuring from the top of the Picatinny rail to the center of the optic. All right, so what we're going to do is look at a few different targets and how this affects our external ballistics. Really, guys, what we're looking for is how high above our line of sight that it goes and how low below our line of sight that it goes. These graphics that I'm going to show you are all shot from the same gun using the same bullet, which is a 55 grain open tip match shot at 2788. All right, so our low mount, which gives us a true bore height of 2.43, point aim, point impact zeroed at 50 meters. All right, if I look at my highest point in from 0 to 250, I'm only 1.5 inches above my line of sight. All right, now dropping back down to 250 yard shot. Once again, that's the dot in the center of the target. All right, I'm only dropping 3.5 inch. What that gives me is a 5 inch maximum point blank range. 0 to 250, I know I'm going to be somewhere within that 5 inches, so I don't have to put any thought to it at all. All right, guys, so the next one that we're going to look at is our medium or our normal size, normal height mounts for ARs, which is really the 1.6 style mounts, which gives us a true bore height, center of the bore to the center of the optic, of 2.76. All right, so if I do a 50 yard or 50 meter point aim, point impact zero, if we look at our highest shot out to 250 yards, so at 150 yards, I'm only rising 2.1 inches above my line of sight. Looking at the 250 yard mark, I'm only dropping 2.2 inches. So a very tight maximum point blank out to the 250, which gives us about a 4.5 inch maximum point blank hold using our normal height. All right, guys, so the last one that we're going to look at is what I consider our high mounts. That's anything over 1.9. All right, so as we look at this, this gives us a true bore height of 4.125. So we're still going to use our same 50 meter point aim, point impact zero. Now, as I look at the 150 to 200 yard mark, I'm raising above my line of sight almost 5 inches, all right? And I'm still high at the 250 yard mark. So the higher that we get away from the bore, the more that it affects our external ballistics. All right, guys, so a lot of things to consider once we're picking as you're picking your mounting style and height, and how that affects our external ballistics. All right, so the higher that we get our optics away from our center line of bore, the more that it affects our external ballistics downrange and even for our up close shots.